Welcome to For Your Amusement, a theme park podcast that aims to exhaustively evaluate the world's most popular theme park attractions to determine if they are world-class. I'm Ryan Bergara.
I'm Byron Marin.
And today we're not evaluating attractions, but rather we're evaluating meals, and specifically the top 5 meals that either of us have personally had. Now, this is just as much a review of the food as it was the experience and the circumstance, so this is going to be a little bit more personalized, and apologies if Byron gets misty-eyed over there, because some of these are very fond memories.
I don't know if we'll get to that point, but yeah, definitely a memory lane of sorts.
It's nice to kind of just reflect on these kind of things, and you know, as theme park lovers, goers, you got to eat. And sometimes those meals become very memorable. Sometimes they're the most memorable part of your theme park day, and they stick with you. Or you've planned your day perhaps around a reservation that at a place that's hard to secure a reservation for, and that makes the day. And with that, let's get into some of the rules that we're going by this episode. Theme park meals, by that we mean any meal eaten inside of a theme park or theme park resort. So that could be obviously any of the parks themselves. It could be a downtown Disney, City Walk, Disney Springs. It could be a hotel, a Disney or Universal or just resort hotel in general. Anything like that. And we actually are not doing an aggregate list today. We're each going to have our own personal top 5s, and we're just going to trade back and forth. And we'll see if it's a fun time.
Yeah. And that's not to say that we would never do a top 5 or a top 10 theme park restaurants in general, where we're specifically a little more objective and not just going off this is just a specific meal or an experience that we had that might have, been helped by a series of surprises or people that were with us, and just a bunch of random variables, maybe just being in a good mood. Who knows?
For sure.
But yeah, I'm excited to dive into this.
In fact, Byron and I are going to Disneyland after this recording, and there is a place that I'm very much looking forward to maybe eating at tonight. And as always, please like and subscribe to keep this channel alive over at youtube.com/FYApod, or if you're listening to this on your podcast app of choice, subscribe and rate 5 stars there as well. It'll help us keep making this show. And in terms of that, you could support the making of this show by going over to our fourth wall, which is just a different version of Patreon, over at fyapod.com, where you could get up to 3 monthly bonus shows in addition to the free main show that you're listening and watching now.
And ad-free episodes.
Including
Including this one.
So if you're over on YouTube and you're like, I have had enough of these ads, or even if you're listening to this in the car and you're like, I've had enough of these ads, you get over to fyapod.com and you'll get either the video or the audio version
in a new tab, so that we pad our stats, so we still get the view count on YouTube, of course.
Oh, that's
no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's hilarious. But also our merch is there as well, and I'm wearing a shirt that I designed for the merch store that's really stupid, and because we record these in batch, you're going to see this shirt several times.
This is the first time I've seen this in person.
The tourist would like it's my tourist would like to see the orca shirt, and I spent a lot of time photoshopping various Steven Spielbergs hiding on the orca.
You know what? I gotta be honest with you, man. It looks much better, like realized on a physical shirt, than it does when I saw the mock-up.
Yeah, no, I honestly
I always got a kick out of it, but it actually blends much nicer. Actually physically printed on the shirt, so well done.
I designed this shirt mainly so I could wear it, just like I designed all the merch so that I could wear it, and if anybody else likes to wear it, that's a bonus. So my wife saw the shirt and she was like, you should just have one that's just text that says the tourist would like to see the orca, and I was like, that's fair. Whatever. Let's just get into this list, Byron. This was actually a pretty tough list to come up with for me, just because you had to really dive deep into your nostalgia bank.
And it's tough because I know I must have had some specific character dining experiences that I just don't have
memories of.
Yeah, I have a feeling of it, but I just don't quite have enough memory to really connect to it, where I think all the ones I put on this list are within the past 10 to 15 years.
I would say so for me as well. It's and no disrespect to my parents, but there was no meal that really stuck out in my mind. And I think that's just because I saw meals in theme parks with my parents and family growing up more as just like, this is slowing me down.
Right?
I need to get on some more rides. Let's inhale these chicken tenders as fast as possible so we could get on more rides.
That's the thing is the chicken McNuggets excited me more as a kid than like a sit-down meal.
It did. Yeah, I was like, why are we sitting down? This is a waste of time.
The whole concept of bringing people together, engaging in conversations, and like, creating memories with each other, that just wasn't really a thing. It was always just rides.
No, and a standing meal, corn dog cart. Standing meal in line. But no, a lot of mine were from the past, honestly, like 5 years. And let me look at this list really quick. Every single one of these is with you.
I must admit you are in the majority of mine.
I don't think there's one without you. No, yeah, there's even like I listed all the way down to 10, and every single one of them is with you. But
for better or worse.
For better or for worse. I mean, we're at theme parks a lot. That's why we made this podcast. Byron, what do you? Why don't we just start this off then?
All right.
An unceremonious start to a very ceremonious list. Byron, what's your number 5?
All right. I'm going to lead off with a meal I had with my brother at Mythos in the year 2020.
Okay.
Don't worry. You this is number 5, Ryan.
That's fine. That's fine.
You might see yourself in many of these meals as they get closer to number 1.
I hope so.
As for this particular week, it was just context wise.
Yeah.
In, pretty much indoors, quarantining for much of 2020.
Yes.
My brother and I take advantage toward the end of the year on the Costco Universal Vacation Package deal.
Which was what? Do you recall what that was?
Oh gosh, I don't remember the exact price. You definitely can't get it now, but it was basically it included like a hotel, tickets. I think it averaged to maybe $100 a night at Cabana Bay.
Oh wow.
Total, so we were splitting it, and then the tickets were maybe $100 at most a day. I don't know. It was a ridiculous deal.
Interesting.
We couldn't pass up, and it was the first time that we had ever done a Universal exclusive trip.
I see.
Because we always grew up as Disney people.
I see. Yes.
So when we walked into an empty Islands of Adventure that we had not been in since, I think we went with the family 2012 or 13 or something to that tune. We hadn't been there in such a long time. It was a different park at Hagrid's, and we were hungry, and we were rope dropping Mythos, which we did not know much about at the time. It has a banner that it still has there that's basically voted number 1 theme park restaurant
in the world.
And
it says there's a big banner that says that on the outside.
I think it's according to Amusement Insider or maybe Theme Park Insider, one of those publications.
It's pretty funny.
And so we kind of laughed about it, and we did we needed a spot to eat, and
the banner worked on you.
We know no, I think if anything, it almost deterred us, because usually if you if you ever go traveling and stuff, you take a walking tour, you're in Europe or something.
Yeah.
One of the golden rules that locals will make is if they have someone out there trying to bring you into the restaurant, and say it's the number 1 restaurant around, it's not the number 1 restaurant around.
See, I'm Buddy the Elf. I'm very susceptible to that.
The best restaurants don't need a promoter at under the marquee.
You remember that scene in Elf when he's world's best coffee, and he's you guys did it. That's me. I'm Buddy the Elf. If you have a sign that says there's been a sign in my neighborhood in LA for years that has said best waffles in town, and I've always driven by it and thought I got to get those waffles. And I never have. So maybe the sign didn't work, but I think about it. I think about it a lot.
Mm-hmm. So when that didn't work for us. Let's just say that.
Okay, so you went in despite the sign.
If anything, I think my brother was a lot more involved in the culinary research.
Yes.
He really likes that kind of stuff. So he might have done a quick Google search and been hey, let's give this a shot. It actually does seem like it's well reviewed. And
yeah.
So I wasn't particularly thrilled about it. I just thought it was super tacky having a banner up there. And I'm there's no way. Yeah. And I still thought, Disney leaps and bounds better in the culinary department, especially for sit down. This is, once again, an empty Islands of Adventure, given the circumstances of the year. And we were absolutely blown away by this restaurant. And I think the element of surprise is why I had to put it on this list. It was also the feeling of being back in a theme park for the first time in a while, like probably like the longest span of not being in a theme park in my
the pandemic.
life.
Yeah.
And that was our first day there. Just kind of being in that empty like restaurant, just being able to slow down and like take in all the incredible aesthetics that place provides. And then just the coaster nerd in me looking out this window, this big window, and what is being built before my eyes is kind of the completion of the Mosasaurus roll of Velocicoaster.
Oh, interesting.
So it was like semi-taunting, but also semi like we had just ridden Hagrid's that morning, and it was just like this idea of like, wow, like more to come. And it was like it was a construction that I'd been following. And to actually just see it there while having this like incredible lamb burger. They just have like really good Mediterranean food at this restaurant.
Yeah.
It was just like a special moment. It was just, I think it was the combination of all those things, just not thinking the restaurant was going to be as good as they promoted.
Yeah.
And it really lived up to that. I do think it is still, I've had a couple meals since there where we actually went recently, and it still holds up in my opinion as one of the best theme park restaurants. So to not be expecting that, to get that, and to, you know, also have like just a one-on-one experience with my brother.
Yeah.
That way we decided, hey, like let's go out, and, you know, it was just a lot of really good quality time.
And seeing the construction of that churro stand.
The churro stand, that's right. So yeah, that's that'd be my number 5. What do we got? What do we got for yours?
Here's my number 5, and you might be familiar with this place. It's Mythos. And this is why particularly your number 5 stung me personally, because this number 5 for me is Mythos, with you, your brother,
and Mari.
And I treasure that meal quite deeply, and clearly you don't.
Oh no,
you have one over it.
I definitely considered putting this one on the list.
I wish, but you didn't.
If it was if this was just a list of just listing the restaurants, they would have worked in tandem. But I'm like, I can't put Mythos on here twice.
The damage is done, Byron.
I'm sorry I broke your heart.
You did break my heart in half, on camera, no less. No, this restaurant's fantastic. I always get a kick out of this banner. Like I said, Buddy the Elf, that's me. I go in here, I'm revved up. I was also pretty jazzed this particular time because I had been to this restaurant one time before, and I was bringing my wife, who, you know, she has a refined palate. She doesn't like eating garbage, and I am the opposite of that. I'm like a raccoon. So bringing her into this, I was like, this is good because this is a surefire bet. Like everything here is so delicious. And
I was a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, because like we both know, she knows both of Byron and I are trash pandas. So like when it comes to like when we're like, you got to try this corn dog on the corn dog cart. She does love the corn dog. That's a bad example. What's a better one? Blue Bayou. You got to try Blue Bayou, and she was not impressed by Blue Bayou's food, at least. But anyways, Mythos. The first off, the decor inside this place is fantastic. It's like this kind of like cave like atmosphere, like if you were to carve a cave into the Mediterranean coast or something like that. It's kind of what it looks like, and obviously like I want to say like mythology like themes.
Yeah, I mean it was still part of the lost continent or whatever's left of it. It's kind of really it's pretty much the only thing left of the lost continent now with Poseidon's Fury gone and the Sinbad show.
Yes. No, I normally when I've eaten here, I think I actually ate 2 times here before. We've always eaten inside, and this was the first time we decided to eat out on the patio because it wasn't that hot of a day. And we realized if you're sitting out there, you get a perfect view of Velocicoaster, which is funny that you were talking about the construction of Velocicoaster, because here we were just looking at it while we were eating, and it was just glorious. It's such a nice little patio when it's temperate out there. The appetizers were amazing. I believe we had some like hummus and like,
did we have like an artichoke
spread, and hummus spread? It was like a bread spread.
That hummus.
It's like a
spinach dip.
You guys.
Yummy. It's quite
Yummy in my tummy.
Delicious. I had a espresso martini, which you could actually see this meal in our vlog, because this is from our first trip to Epic Universe when we got invited for the media preview event, and we did our own little day at Islands of Adventure before we went to Epic. And so this was just, there was a lot of anticipation on this day because I was just as excited to show my wife Islands of Adventure as I was Epic Universe because she had never been to Islands of Adventure. And this place was factored into that excitement. So very, very cool that we were able to get this table. We rope dropped it, I believe, as well. I think it was like 11 a.m. or something like that.
We were one of the first ones in.
And we got my favorite there, which is the Mythos lamb burger. I always think I'm going to get something else there, and then I never do. I think one time I got something else. It was still good, but it's not that lamb burger. That lamb burger is delicious.
Yeah, I've reached a point now where I kind of like plan meals ahead of Mythos to make sure that I'm primed for the lamb burger. It's really sad. They used to have this like really good purple, like sort of aioli spread of sorts. I forget exactly what it's called, but even without it, it's still top tier.
No, and the espresso martini was actually fantastic. That's another thing is the vibes on this patio, being on that lagoon. I don't know if you want to call it the lagoon or the bay of Islands of Adventure, and seeing in the distance, Toon Lagoon and Velocicoaster and all of that, while you take in this really delicious meal after you're having a tired theme park morning rope dropping, which is what we did that morning. We rope dropped Hagrid's. So the Mythos meal, in a lot of ways, felt like a victory meal because we were able to successfully rope drop Hagrid's. We actually got on it twice, which was crazy, even though it broke down the first time. So there was a lot going into this meal in terms of expectations, and it just delivered on everything. It was just a delightful, relaxing meal where we had a lot to look forward to. We had Epic Universe coming in the next day, and
you're just looking at it, one of the best views of the park.
Best views in the park, and we had the theme park wrecking crew there, which is like, there's not a group of 4 people that I would have selected over this group of 4 to take in this theme park experience. Like when it comes to, Byron, his brother, and Mari. Like Byron's probably closest person to him and my closest person to me. And then they both enjoyed theme parks as well. Especially because it's coming on the heels of Byron and I had gone to Disney World with just us 2 and Mari.
That's right.
Because we got invited to the Star Cruiser event. Food was not good there. The food in general at the resort.
It was
come on, man.
Honestly, I thought the food was one of the highlights. I mean, I don't know what that's saying, but
yeah, I was about to say.
I enjoyed the food there. I just think in like the big picture, like, it's not like that food was overcompensating enough, if that makes sense.
Well, we had some other bad food experiences on that trip. We went to Aloha Cafe over at the Polynesian, which I think they've changed it from this now.
Ohana?
Yeah, Ohana, sorry. They had the skillet
yeah.
breakfast, which is just they come over with a skillet and you just pick pancakes off of it, as opposed to the breakfast buffet that they used to have.
Yeah, which kind of made me wonder, because like once you see all the buffet items just like in a skillet that's just thrown on your table, it's all the same items that would be in a buffet, but for whatever reason they just throw it all like on a skillet in your plate. And it's
weird.
Like, oh, it doesn't seem like there's that many options actually, because like I think you asked at one point like, oh, it's like is there other parts that would be on the buffet or whatever? Like, nope, that's it. That's the skillet. Would you like another skillet? It's all you could eat.
No, so because of that, we were, the last food experience we had just had with the 3 of us wasn't great at a theme park. So I was very glad that Mythos was there to deliver the goods.
And you know what? Mari approved. And I will say, whereas the first time I went to Mythos and how it caught me by surprise and how great that experience was.
Yeah.
This time felt fully realized.
Yes, it did.
It felt great to have all 4 of us kind of like, just the core theme park kind of group.
Yeah. Everybody out there listening to this has their theme park wrecking crew.
Velocicoaster's running now. It kind of felt like, it made me feel like, wow, like the first time was kind of a technical rehearsal. And then this is the real way it should be enjoyed.
No, it was a great meal. And that's my number 5. So let's move to Byron's number 4.
My number 4 happened very recently, actually.
Oh, okay.
It was during the same week that we went to the first media preview for Epic Universe. However, this was at the end of our night at Epcot.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
And this was Teponetto with you, myself, and Adam.
That was an incredible meal.
And to set the stage for this, this was toward the end of our trip. I think we were pretty exhausted, but enduring because we had to crush Epcot. We had to do the World Showcase.
We rope dropped Epcot.
Rope dropped Epcot.
That was your second rope drop.
That was my second. I'd rope dropped Hollywood Studios, and
You're a
because
madman.
and you can see this in the vlog that we did of the Epcot day. I was lucky enough to rope drop Hollywood Studios because it actually opened earlier than Epcot that morning due to a Run Disney event. And I physically had to run over to Epcot to catch you guys before getting into the Guardians building at rope drop.
That's right.
For Epcot.
Yeah.
Because I had taken the boat. And I realized that, look, at the rate, because it makes a few stops.
Yeah.
From Hollywood Studios, you're going to stop at Swan and Dolphin. You're going to stop at Boardwalk. You're going to stop at Yacht Beach Club, and then Epcot. So
Yeah.
at that rate, I'm not making Guardians. The only way is if I start essentially sprinting from the Swan and Dolphin stop all the way to Epcot.
What you see in the vlog, you just hear him silently. You just hear the little pep, 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 pep of his feet running. Just him huffing like Michael Myers.
And it was already pretty hot that morning.
Yeah.
And so, which really teed up how amazing this meal was, because I got in line with you guys just in time for you guys to enter the building.
Yeah.
Really made it at the last second. And you, within a few minutes of getting hit by that AC, cooling off, I think you leaned over to me and said, "Hey, guess what? I secured a tepanetto at the end of the night, right before the park closed.
8:50 p.m.
8:50. The park closed at 9. So you're not losing any theme park time, and you're essentially staying in the park for at least probably an hour after the park. So I saw the brilliance.
You saw the
just,
vision.
just by you mentioning the time. I don't know why it kind of made my heart swell in that moment. I kind of had that Denzel Washington, my man, you moment.
Yeah. I was stoked to tell you guys.
I was so proud. It's I wouldn't expect anything less, but it was still just such a wonderful feeling for you to drop that news on me. And I knew we were just in for a glorious day.
Yeah, because now your entire day is planned around making that 8:50 dinner. So you just get everything you need to get done before then. You snack throughout the day to keep yourself fueled, and you just get ready to have the ultimate finale.
Yeah. And for those unfamiliar, tepanetto is in the Japan pavilion. It is very much in that realm of Benihana. It's a Teppan grill. They cook in front of you.
Yeah.
They do the volcano. They do the fun
awesome.
tricks. For Tepanetto, they do a couple Disney, they put a little Disney spin on a couple of the things.
Disney hibachi. It's hibachi inside a theme park at Epcot, no less. It doesn't get better than that for me.
It really is. It is terrific. And we had been a few times in the past, but no, I don't think anything set it up to be as good as it was this time. Yes, we had done the World Showcase by that point, so we were a few in, to say the least. We had just come off a Sugar Ray concert.
Oh, yeah, because Sugar Ray was performing at Epcot.
And
We saw that with Quincy.
we saw it with Quincy. And then we made our way over to Tepanetto feeling pretty dang good. And this is also, this is coming right off the media day.
Yeah.
At Epic Universe as well. So I think our hearts were really full.
It was a nice trip. A nice closer.
And I will say that I splurged a bit. I think we all splurged a bit.
Yeah.
And got that Wagyu
Oh my God, yes.
steak. And it just every bite was just one of the most glorious bites of food.
Yeah, it was
at
so
that
good.
point in the evening. Really worked up an appetite leading up to it. So I don't know. And it was also one of those points where you'll notice in the vlog, when there was a period of time that I was not filming much, it was during this. I just completely surrendered to this meal.
Yeah.
I think we had a nice glass of whiskey with it to
We
cap
did have
off.
a nice, I think a little Japanese whiskey. I think we had some Toki.
Mm-hmm. After our bellies were full, we got to walk through an empty World Showcase to get to our hotel through the back of World Gateway. Just a really emotional evening.
It was fantastic. Mm-hmm. What a good time it was. That's a good one. Maybe it's somewhere on my list. Who knows? Number 4 for me, though, and this is kind of cheating because it's not really a specific meal, in terms of time and place, but it is. It's hard for me to pin them all down because they all do kind of glob together, but any time I've gone to Blue Bayou is my number 4. Specifically, when I go there, I get the Monte Cristo sandwich. It comes out. It's basically a beignet, and a legit beignet battered sandwich. So goddamn good. Now, I think you could get this actually at Cafe Orleans if that's no, or has that become Tiano's? I can't recall. But in one of those New Orleans restaurants, you could actually get the Monte Cristo sandwich. That's fine.
I think you get a snack size to go now.
Everybody knows, though, one of the main things you want to do is just soak in the ambiance of Blue Bayou. Ever since I was a little kid, and if you're not familiar with Blue Bayou, it's the restaurant that is inside Pirates of the Caribbean at the very first part, which is such an enormous flex. I think about this often of like how inventive it was to put and bold it was to put a restaurant at the beginning of a ride. Just in general, that thought is kind of a crazy concept to me. I'm actually not sure if it's the first to do it, but I feel like it has to be.
I'd have to look it up.
I mean, because you quite literally see the restaurant, and the restaurant completely fits in with the theming of Pirates of the Caribbean and the Bayou, and it actually adds to the set design of that opening scene, because you buy that you're going through a bayou and that there would be some sort of like bayou waterfront restaurant where you could see people. It makes you actually buy into the world a little bit more.
I think it's so effective that as a kid, I would go back and forth on whether or not I thought the people dining there were real or not.
That's funny.
Because the way the lighting is set up, they're very much kind of like dimly lit, silhouetted.
Yeah.
I remember like my first rides on Pirates wondering, like, is this like a show? Is this a scene?
They're
like,
really swapping out those animatronics.
Yeah. Because also like a lot of the people, you're kind of sitting, so there's like minimal movement.
Yes.
Amongst the people dining there. So it used to kind of trick me into thinking like, is this real? Is this not?
Well, one of the things too, and anybody who's listened to this podcast thus far, first off, thank you. But also you'll remember that one of my favorite things about a ride is when they do day for night, when they make a nighttime exterior inside a ride, inside a show building. And Pirates, among the best in terms of creating a nighttime atmosphere inside a daytime environment, which, I don't know if it gets much better than that in terms of being able to dine in that atmosphere. Like if I was able to dine in the rainforest scene from Living with the Land, that would probably be the only thing that would top this. I know technically you see like the barn over in the Garden Grill over at Epcot, but in terms of just what actually exists right now, this might be the most premium atmosphere environment. That's why I couldn't really like single it out into one experience, just because as a whole, the Monte Cristo sandwich paired with this ambiance and alcohol, pretty damn good. And also, if you're having like a really long, hot theme park day, being able to go into an air-conditioned nighttime atmosphere, it really doesn't get much more relaxing than that.
There's a reason why this is one of the hardest theme park restaurants to get a reservation for.
Same thing with Tep and Edo. Both of these are incredibly difficult. You often have to do it months in advance, and sometimes you could get lucky. You could go up to the walk-up list and they'll let you in, or maybe you refresh your app and somebody canceled and it pops up. That's how we got the Tep and Edo reservation. I believe that's how most of the time I get this Blue Bayou reservation.
Yeah, you usually have Blue Bayou like at obscure hours.
It's fantastic. I've had many a birthday here in my adult years.
Now, I must warn y'all that the Monte Cristo sandwich is only served during lunch.
Oh, I never noticed that. You know what's funny?
I don't know if that's a recent thing or not, but I noticed for my mom's birthday last year, because she's all about getting that Monte Cristo sandwich as well.
Oh, no.
That we took her for dinner, and to her dismay, not on the dinner menu.
That's tough. I mean, I think the reason why it's so present in my mind is because most of the time you could get a walk-up reservation or a reservation pops up, it is for lunch.
Right.
Because people are off doing something during their day, and they're like, I can't make it back to Blue Bayou. Also, it's a little cumbersome to have like a 2-hour sit-down meal in the middle of your theme park day that you spent a lot of money to have. But if you're an annual pass member, this is like this is where you make your money's worth here. You get your Blue Bayou in. Granted, it's pricey in there, but the Monte Cristo is at least the cheapest thing on the menu, I believe.
Yes. I recall for my birthday, we did Blue Bayou.
We did.
It was like either early afternoon. I think it was like early afternoon or something like that. And that was the first time I tried that Monte Cristo sandwich.
So good.
I didn't personally order it. I got the surf and turf.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really good there. So if you have the ability, because that Monte Cristo sandwich is
huge.
hefty, so you will get a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Especially considering how expensive some of those other items are.
Yes.
If you have someone that is willing to split the Monte Cristo sandwich with something else on the menu, I think that's like just the best of both worlds. And I think that's what I did. I got to try one of your Monte Cristo sandwiches.
Yeah, I gave you one of my giant beignets. I put it in a wheelbarrow and then and I passed it to you on the other side of the table. If you put that in a Lazy Susan, it would break it. But let's move to your number 3 now?
We are already at number 3.
At the top 3.
I don't know about already, but my number 3 is, this is a meal, I think it got this high up on the list because I will never be able to have this meal probably ever again. And no, it's not Club 33. But this was actually Carthay Circle.
Wait, out of curiosity, and you could choose to answer this or not. Did Club 33 even make your top 5?
No.
It didn't make mine either.
We could get into it.
We could get into it though.
I'd be interested.
There's another restaurant that I'd like to get into after my list as well. There's 2 restaurants I did not put on this list that I'd like to get into. But anyways, go to your top 3.
Okay. So number 3 is Carthay Circle. This was my birthday in 2015. I believe this was my actual birthday and not it was probably during the week because I only went with my parents.
Yes.
They took me to Carthay Circle. I think I probably did a separate thing with friends.
Yeah.
During the weekend or something like that. Because this is one of the only birthdays that I've shared just with my parents. It was my first time at... actually, no, it was not my first time at Carthay Circle. But it was my favorite time at Carthay Circle.
And this is inside, right? This is before they had the alfresco dining.
This is before the alfresco dining. This was this was indoors, second floor. And I think it was just one of those quality time kind of things where we kind of tried a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
No one got set on a particular entree. And this is back when they had the firecracker duck wings.
No longer here.
And this is the first time that I tried the firecracker duck wings, which are one of my favorite theme park items of all time.
They're really good.
And they are no longer on the menu. That might be a big reason why this one got as high as it did on the list, because I just remember that first time trying the duck wings. And
they're defunct now.
Defunct wings.
Yeah.
And it was just, a terrific time with my parents. And the real kicker was, on top of it,
I just realized, though, if the lamb burger ever went defunct, you could call it defunct lamb. Wouldn't that be good?
Love it.
Sorry, I had to get that one in.
No, I don't blame you. But the real kicker for this Carthay Circle dinner was, this was not planned, but we were seated inside, but right next to the outdoor, the doors that lead to the balcony.
Yes.
And as soon as we were, getting our bill, the fireworks started.
Yeah, I remember this picture you sent me.
Because that is engraved in my memory. I'm sure we could throw it up for the video version, and it's it's the fireworks in the background. I think I'm wearing like a Hawaiian shirt, and it was just a very, once again, it's just one of those things, like, we're such planners when it comes to theme parks that sometimes you're just rewarded with these unexpected things.
Yeah, it's the surprises that really stick with you, because it does feel very satisfying when you've laid out the logistics of a perfectly planned theme park day and everything's going off without a hitch. But sometimes it's the things that you didn't plan for that, and most of the time, that thing you didn't plan for is actually something you've never done before. And those are the things that always stick with me.
Yeah. Or in terms of the Tapanero experience, something someone planned for you.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
That's special too. And I'll never get that firecracker duck wing ever again. Rest in peace. And every other Carthay Circle meal I've had since then is nothing close to what this is. And I don't feel as interested in eating there anymore. But this will always have a special place in my heart.
My number 3 is actually just in the tune of what you had just mentioned. Somebody else planned it, and I got to enjoy it. And I have to say, it is among not just one of the funniest meals I've ever had at a theme park. If it's not the most funny meal I've ever had, it's up there in the upper echelon, top 3. This is Byron's birthday. I forget what year it was. I want to say it was 2017 or 2018. What is it, like 27th, 28th birthday or something like that? I can't recall.
Who's counting?
Mid to late 20s. And he decided to have it at Goofy's Kitchen.
This was 2017 because this is on my list as well.
This was, I mean, truly a fantastic meal just because of what happened. First off, I do love Goofy's Kitchen. I'll say it. It's a buffet for children, and you know what? If you're trying to really soak up that nostalgia as an adult, it's like you're gonna get that Goofy's Kitchen buffet, and you're gonna be like, "Wow, this is literally a buffet of every single item that I'm seeing is a banger." In terms, if I was a kid, like they have pizza, they have peanut butter and jelly pizza, which is still one of my favorite food items in a theme park because it's so good. It's like the pizza bread crust. That's perfectly thin with hot peanut butter and jelly kind of like painted on in terms of like a pattern, and it's so goddamn good. Chicken tenders. They do have like a little salad bar, which I always avoided as a kid, but this time as an adult, it's like, you know what, I'll get some Caesar salad with my peanut butter and jelly pizza, which is ridiculous. But, it's very obviously not an atmosphere for adults. It's an atmosphere for birthday parties, though, just not adult birthday parties. And I think they were cognizant of that when they saw our group roll in and the state that we rolled in.
We had a long day at the pool.
We had a long day at the pool.
We may have had a couple murky mojitos at Trader Sam's. Leading up to this. So yeah, they knew immediately. You could see the photo of we took a big group photo.
We did.
Like the official one with the characters and everything.
And we rolled in here like a bat out of hell. We took a picture with the big cheese, or it was with Goofy. It was with Goofy, right? Out in front of the
I think we got it with Mickey.
Because there is like a little photo op out in front that they have. And this is a big group. I want to say it was like 15 people, 10 to 15 people. Of all the folks in Byron's life, I would say about half to maybe over half not theme park sickos. So they were, I want to say, less than pleased that we were at Goofy's Kitchen. But you know what? It was his birthday, so that's what we're gonna do. And the hostess, I don't know if they had planned to put us in this room, but I think they may have seen our group and were like, we're going to put these people in the Blueberry Room.
Yep.
And the Blueberry Room, if you don't know, is a room in the...
And they called it that.
They called it the Blueberry Room. It's a room that's blue, and it's far away from the rest of the rooms. And I think it's where they put their garbage. And so they tossed us in this room.
It has these sort of like glass panel dividers.
Yes, it does.
Almost like little like sound walls of sorts.
Yeah, because they were like, we got to hide these guys.
And we had about like 15 people.
And it's also a pricey meal. It's like a weirdly pricey meal.
Oh, it's a good like $60.
Yeah, I think at that time, I think it was like $50, which is still a lot. And also, not everybody's stoked that they had to pay $50. This actually became quite the debacle.
Yeah, I mean, guess like... Here's the deal. Like, we invited a lot of friends. Some of us split a... we probably had like 10 to 12 people share a suite at the Paradise Pier Hotel.
Yes.
Some of my friends, came on their own accord. They didn't want to do the parks or anything, so I wanted to give an option, a birthday dinner where people that didn't want to come do the parks or stay at the hotel could still show up and have the dinner.
Yes.
If you were not doing the hotel, if you were not doing the parks, if you were not poolside all day, pre-gaming this meal, to drop into Goofy's Kitchen and pay the amount of money like that we paid,
$50 is a lot, especially when you're eating children's food and surrounded by children's music and characters dancing to said children's music.
So when you have like friends coming in from like their law firm job or like they're or finishing like, at their accounting firm and coming in for this birthday meal. They don't expect a kid buffet, especially not a kid buffet, to cost over $50. So it kind of split a crowd. I will say that it almost kind of made it more funny, which I had a little bit of guilt afterward because like I was pretty tone deaf in that situation.
Yeah.
Like initially, but now like the more time has passed, I just think it's funnier and funnier.
I mean, it's called Goofy's Kitchen. I think you could surmise what that's going to entail.
you incepted that idea. I think like sometime during work leading up to this birthday trip, you had like texted me about like Goofy's Kitchen and it jolt back because I had like
I've had several birthdays there when I was a kid.
When I was 6 years old, when my parents surprised me with a Disneyland hotel visit on my 6th birthday, that was the place we ate. And I thought, God, that'd be so cool to revisit Goofy's Kitchen. Great idea, Ryan.
Oh, I mean, look, I want to make it clear that my suggestion was purely tongue-in-cheek, and I think I knew it was going to be hilarious to go there for a birthday. And I was like, if you don't do this for your birthday, I'm going to do it for my birthday because I just think it's really fun. It would be like going to have a birthday at Chuck E. Cheese. Like, you obviously don't really want Chuck E. Cheese food, but it's funny to revisit it as an adult and just be like, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pregame this restaurant really hard all day at the pool at Trader Sam's, and we're going to stumble into Goofy's Kitchen and have a very silly evening. And it's exactly what we did. We are who we thought we were.
Yeah. My parents were there and everything.
Yeah. It was like a bizarro, like if somebody had like zapped you and your family at your 6-year-old birthday party at Goofy's Kitchen and made you travel through time to that exact moment.
I believe we have footage of this.
It's really funny.
We have like a quick clip of like Chip and Dale just...
Yes, we do.
Just going bonkers.
One of the funniest videos I've ever taken in my life. So... They had characters come over, which was hilarious. It's just funny for a poor character to come over to a table full of adults and have to be and seeing what we looked like and being like, oh boy, I got to talk to these fucking scoundrels. And there was this moment, I think it was Chip. He was talking to somebody at the table, and I, for whatever reason, was starting a slow zoom in on his face. And I don't know why, but he slowly turned his head towards me as if he sensed the zoom was happening. And his face perfectly, like just his eyeballs and his mouth, perfectly landed in the frame of the iPhone. And I laughed so goddamn hard because I was out of it. I was completely out of it at this moment. Because like, well, what do we have to lose? We're at Goofy's Kitchen. You got to be silly there. And we're going to stumble back to our hotel room, and it's going to be a very funny memory. And it's still to this day, the amount of laughter shared at that table, at least for the people who were enjoying it.
Yeah. The next day, I got like a text in that group chat of like one of the friends that did not, stay at the hotel or do the theme parks. Just like, wow, thanks, Byron. $60 for chicken nuggets.
Look, man.
But you know what? Fuck it. It was my birthday.
You didn't have to come. Okay, that's.
I did not give people the information they probably needed.
I mean, you also didn't put a gun to their head and was like,
no,
eat the nuggets.
That's fair.
Eat that. You're gonna come to this and you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move to your number 2.
Number 2. This is like a slightly more civil version of that.
Okay.
In terms like, is this was a big group as well.
Yeah.
And this was your bachelor party. This was the first meal that we had at your bachelor party. We had taken a red-eye flight from Los Angeles over to Orlando. We get there at what, like 5 in the
5 or 6 in the morning.
I think we got to the Animal Kingdom Lodge, Jumbo House.
That's right.
At about like 6 a.m. We were nowhere near checking in for this hotel, but we needed to drop our luggage off and kind of do something. And to our surprise, there was this beautiful buffet downstairs that was able to take all like 10 or 11 of us.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know me, I'm a big morning person.
You are. I am not.
So I was fucking amped. A 6 a.m. buffet.
Yeah.
With like all our close friends to like kick off a theme park trip.
What was the name of that place?
Boma.
Okay, because we called it the Boom Boom Room.
We called it the Boom Boom Room, which I always have to call it now.
Because they serve mimosas and stuff in there too. from my
Yes, we put the
recollection.
boom boom in the boom boom room.
the boom boom room.
I think it was just because we kept forgetting what the name is. So like, I think it was Roland or something. It was like, oh, I want to go back to the boom boom room.
Because it's called Boma. It's so good.
Honestly, one of probably the best Disney buffet I've had. I know like Storytellers is up there for me as well.
No, it's better than
Grand
Storytellers.
But,
Yeah.
I just thought it was really, even for like breakfast, I think they had some like authentic options. They even
Yeah.
had like a special juice that they brought to the table.
Yeah. By the way, the food at the entire what's it called? Oh my god, Animal Kingdom Lodge is so good.
Oh, that's right, because you guys went to Sauna later.
We
didn't
went
you?
to Sanaa,
or Sanaa, is that what
which
it
is really good. They had a great bread offering there. But the Boma room, and then there's also another restaurant there that's also quite good. But yeah, they had some African cuisine in the buffet that was also really delicious.
Yeah.
And as well as your Mickey waffles and your scrambled eggs and stuff like
They're
that.
carving stuff for you. I got the coffee. I forget the name of that. That orange juice is delicious.
Oh, the orange
though.
juice is really good.
It's not orange juice, but it's like a it's like some sort of like, I think it's like like some sort of African based juice, right?
Yes, and also like another thing to add into this, how lucky we were, it was free. It was a free meal, if you recall, because this was the beginning of like Disney had given us some free vouchers for the bachelor party. So like, and to be greeted with that and just be completely famished and thirsty after a long flight from LA to Orlando, and to just walk into this
And just
oasis.
knowing we had a full like week of theme parking up ahead.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was just bliss. I could picture exactly where I was sitting. It was just one of those meals you just know exactly where you're sitting. Just the energy, like people like half awake, but also like very excited.
Yeah.
It was just cool to just be with everyone.
And then we chilled at the pool, and then later that we had an event already planned for us by Disney to go check out Star Wars Celebration.
We didn't see that coming.
No, we were exhausted.
We didn't expect to be in a theme park that day. I know that's not part of the meal, but it was an incredible day.
It was an incredible day.
Just running on fumes for sure. But
We'll eventually have to do some sort of like download of the Bachelor Party. Maybe we'll do that as a FYI pod or something.
maybe.
No, that's a good meal. I thought about putting that one on here. It did not make my list, though.
I'm a morning guy though. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
I was
Is
exhausted.
A 6 a.m. meal with your friends, it's never going to happen again.
It's never gonna, especially with our group of friends.
You never get 10 of your friends together for a 6 a.m. or maybe it was 7 a.m. by that point.
It was all 10 too, all 10 of us. Moving to my number 2. Again, this is kind of cheating because it's just any version of this, because it's hard for me to pin one down because every time has been so amazing. But anytime, I mean anytime we've had Knott's Chicken Dinner, it is so. Why is this here?
No, this is actually not on my list
That's
because I couldn't, like, we've had so many good meals there.
Yeah.
But I had a hard time picking out like which one in particular I can use.
No, it's been crazy because like I've performed a couple times at Knott's with the other show that I do. Not this one. And we always have Knott's Chicken Dinner with before the show, and that would be, I would be able to invite my friends and family, so we would go to Knott's Chicken Dinner, or Knott's Chicken Dinner was also our dinner of choice before Knott's Scary Farm, and even like the version of it that's the pre-scare buffet. They would take Knott's Chicken Dinner and put it in buffet form, and they call it the pre-scare buffet dinner, and they would let you into the park 30 minutes early to get your mazes in, so you could get them all in. That was pretty much one of the only ways you could get all the mazes in without using Fastlane back in the day. So that was something we did almost every year as well. And it was actually not, I think it was like $15 or $20, which for a buffet is not terrible, I'd say, for the amount of food and the quality of the food that you were getting. But any Knott's Chicken Dinner experience has been so goddamn good. Moderately priced, or I guess like, no, it's a little pricey. I think it's like,
For what you get though,
for what you get, like
and
it's
considering
still,
it's like on, theme park property.
yeah, I think it's like,
it's hard to get that good of a deal.
yeah, well, I mean, you're paying what, like $25-ish, but you're getting
You could easily split that with at least one person.
at least
if you
maybe
wanted
even
to.
two
It's-
people. It's
It's
crazy.
a bona fide feast, and that's for dinner. It's even cheaper at lunch.
Because you get a salad, You get a basket of biscuits with butter and jam.
Yeah, that
boysenberry jam.
Boysenberry jam.
You get chicken noodle soup, which is so unbelievably
creamy
creamy. Oh my god, it's my favorite chicken noodle soup in the world.
Yep. You get a bowl of corn.
You get a bowl of corn. You get your fried chicken. You get your mashed potatoes.
I'm telling you, like this is under $30 before tax and tip.
And we're not talking about like a small amount of chicken either. We're talking like 3 pieces. Mashed potatoes.
Ton, yeah.
And then after that, in case that wasn't enough, you get a slice of pie. This is all included.
Yes. The pie is not included in the lunch,
but it is in the dinner.
And it brings the price up a bit, but it's
I never have any room for the pie at the end because I'm so stuffed. But oftentimes when we have like a full Knott's Day planned, all I'm doing is just looking forward to that Knott's chicken dinner because you don't need to eat a meal the rest of the day. That's another thing. Like you're spending $25, but that's your meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because you're stuffed.
Yeah.
It's impossible to eat more after that. And then you could pair that with a boysenberry beer or like a boysenberry wine or, maybe even a snake bite, which is like the boysenberry, I think, beer and like the wine, I believe, or is it the seltzer? I can't recall, but it's really, really good. It's always a magical experience. The vibes in there are off the charts. Everyone's very happy to be eating this delicious chicken. I've gone on and on about how this chicken started at the theme park. It's so good that it started at the theme park. Because Mama Knott's made her fried chicken on the side of the freeway, and then they're like, we got to entertain people while they're waiting in this 3-hour line. We should build some rides. And that's literally why the park started. So if you're wondering, is this place worth it? It's incredibly worth it. Also, they have great chicken and waffles there, too.
They do have chicken and waffle. The waffle has some to be desired in terms of quality of the waffle itself.
Yeah.
But once again, if you just want a charming, like just good comfort food environment with friends and family, and just to get like hit over the head with just item after item after like just course after course.
Yeah.
I just think it's a terrific value and just one of the best theme park meals you can get.
One experience that stands out to me in particular, we went to Boysenberry Fest. I can't remember what year it was, but we had decided to come here for dinner to finish the night. And Byron ordered this baked potato boysenberry.
Oh boy, that was a mistake.
And that potato was the size of a football. It was huge.
They basically were telling me not to order it
because it's too big.
They're like, we gotta warn you. Like you're like they did everything short of, please don't order this.
Because there's no way anyone could finish that.
And to preface that, like I've usually done like pretty good damage on these meals.
Yeah.
There was a time, it was 2019 before doing the Halloween haunt.
Yeah.
That I had been filming with our buddy Greg Winkler all day on a short film.
Yeah.
And we had got there just in time to make the event.
Yes.
And to make the dinner.
Yeah.
And I remember just being so hungry and so amped for this event. I cleaned my plate and then I believe I started eating Greg's because he left over half of it. And your dad looks at me and he's like, where the hell are you putting it?
Yeah.
I remember, I'll never look like, I couldn't tell if your dad was impressed or disappointed, but I think
he was impressed.
I'll never forget that moment that he just looked over at me. He's like, I don't know where the hell you're putting it. I don't think I could pull that off anymore. I think it was just like that was the right circumstance. But so I felt pretty good going into this potato.
Yeah.
The potato won.
No, the potato certainly won. We could put a picture up of what that potato looked like. It's an abomination.
It's disgusting.
Huge.
It's too much potato.
I don't even know how they found a potato that big. That's some GMO shit going on right there. Because
I don't know if you've ever seen like Good Burger. But it reminded me of that rival restaurant Mondo Burger where they're like burger. GMOing and just like inflating these burgers. They did
the potato was the size of my thigh, dude. It was huge. But I love Knott's Chicken Dinner. It's just a great place to eat a theme park meal. I think if we were doing restaurants, it's up there. It's among the best in terms of value for the price you're paying. In that you won't have to spend that much money elsewhere, and you have leftovers.
Yeah, probably the best restaurant at a Cedar Fair park, or I guess Six Flags now. technically.
I mean, definitely over anything at Magic Mountain.
Yeah, I'm sure that some that frequent like Dollywood or Silver Dollar City or those types.
I'm sure.
I'm sure they have a couple in their back pocket.
Let us know in the comments about those because we want to go to those parks. So if you have some places that we should be dining at, let us know. But no, Knott's Chicken Dinner, my number 2. Let's go to your number 1 though.
Number 1 we have already discussed at length, so this will be a quick one. It is Goofy's Kitchen for me. The wonderfully disastrous Goofy's Kitchen. I think it makes for some of the best stories. We had probably upwards of 15 people there, and I think I had to put this one over the edge just because I had all my favorite people there. Of course, it's my birthday, but I've never had such a big turnout for a birthday dinner like that before. There are times I even considered Rainforest Cafe because I've had a couple really good birthday dinners in the past with you all.
We had a really good meal there at our my bachelor party over in Animal
for
Kingdom.
lunch.
Yeah.
Yes. Rainforest. Anyone that's been following the show long enough knows that we love Rainforest Cafe.
Safari fries. He said safari fries by an animatronic gorilla.
Yes. Proud Landry's member in the house. But I had to go with Goofy's Kitchen just because, all my best friends were there. Even my parents were there just to see the debauchery.
All my homies love Goofy's Kitchen.
The story that it made, it's just so ridiculous and chaotic that I had to do it. I think our pal Greg bought me for my birthday the photo that they took. So I have the actual
it's
little
incredible.
Framed photo still at my nightstand.
Yeah.
And whenever you're having a sad day, you could kind of open that thing and be like,
Goofy's Kitchen, so funny. Look at his chef hat; it's huge. My number 1 is actually something we've already mentioned as well, and it's the Tepanetto. The Tepanetto Gentleman's Dinner is what I wrote it down as. I've had a lot of meals here, but that meal is probably the best for so many different reasons. One, like Byron said, it wasn't planned. I knew we were going to have our drinking around the world. I knew this was our last day and that I had to leave later, the next day. So I was like, wouldn't it be fun if we could have a grand finale at Tepanetto? Because this was last, right? Or was this before? This was at the end of the trip, right?
This was the last night of your trip. I stayed a couple extra days.
Yeah, but this was the last night of my trip.
Yes.
So I went into the app and I was like, why don't I just refresh this and see if Tepanetto has a reservation pop up?
And this must have been that morning, right?
It was we were in line for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
I was running somewhere.
You were running somewhere. It was rope dropping, and it did that thing where I went in the app, I refreshed it, nothing, and I was like, oh, all right. I forgot about it. Put my phone back in my pocket. Pull my phone back out. When I opened my phone to look at something else, I had forgotten that I was trying to do that. I was like, oh, wait, let me refresh this again. So I refreshed it, and then just an 850 popped up. And I was like, oh, and then so I clicked it and then did that whole skip, yeah, confirm it. Had to put a credit card down, all that stupid shit, because they charge you if you're I think if you cancel 2 hours before or something like that. But I was stoked because I knew 850, like you mentioned before, meant we could enjoy an entire theme park day. Because Tepanetto, that's a 2-hour experience, essentially, or hour and a half. From the waiting to the sitting and eating, watching the show, and then enjoying the ambiance. That's a lot to take out of an Epcot day, especially when the park closes at 9 and we are drinking around the world. That's not a lot of time left. So I knew, even if I did find a Tepanetto reservation, maybe we don't even want to do it because that's going to take up so much time. But when that 850 popped up, I was like, wait a second. We could just finish the day with this and know that we have it waiting for us, looming large in the distance. And we could just eat like a pretzel in the Germany pavilion, eat snacks throughout, and we'll be fine. And it's exactly what we did. And everything then became working towards Tepanetto. And it didn't even matter if things that didn't work out in our favor, because I knew this day is going to end awesome. And it was. We drank around the world. It was beautiful. And we saved Japan for last because we'll have our last drink around the world at Japan. We'll walk back from Mexico to Japan because we started in Canada. You could chime off in the comments whether you think that's crazy or not. I think you're crazy if you start in Mexico. Yeah, we walked back to Japan, and this meal was it was amazing. There was, first off, we were exhausted. We were super hungry, but also we had just experienced Epic Universe, like the media preview, and that was an accomplishment in our, careers that we never thought we would ever be able to achieve, and being invited to an event like that and seeing a brand new theme park open. And here we were at the end of it celebrating with my favorite theme park restaurant, with Byron and his brother. And it just felt like a celebratory dinner. Like one of us had graduated or something,
It was the Thanos looking on a grateful universe.
That's right. I felt like Thanos perched on that little cliffside, just looking out at the sunrise or sunset. I can't recall which one he did his deed. That sounded like. Never mind. I don't even want to think about Thanos doing that. But no, it was fantastic. We had some Suntory whiskey, like Byron said, because it was a celebratory occasion. We were like, you know what? Let's splurge a little bit. Let's get the Wagyu, which I'd never done there. And my God, it was like butter.
Yeah.
It was like butter melting in your mouth good. First off, I love hibachi. Mari and I, my wife and I, it started as kind of like an ironic thing, but we celebrate accomplishments in our career by going to Benihana because it's funny.
It is,
and it's also funny. Like a delicious meal and a great time. So to have essentially that inside, depending on the day, arguably my favorite theme park in the world in Epcot. I mean, it really just felt like a landmark moment in my theme park in life. And definitely the meal I look back at, like, wow, that was when I was the most just relaxed and grateful. It was such a beautiful experience. And then after the meal ended, like Byron had mentioned earlier, we walked out and the park was closed. So we walked through an empty World Showcase and we're just able to take it all in. Like an hour before the meal, we had just watched Sugar Ray perform in concert at Epcot at the American Pavilion, which was hilarious and fun. Got to hang out with Quincy all years, who's been on the pod, and yeah, it was just a fun time, man. It's a meal that is among the tastiest and among the most rewarding in that it was unexpected. And it's something that we usually try and, like, I remember even for my bachelor party, I tried to get Teppanado reservations for the 10 of us, and I don't think it happened, right? Or did it happen?
It did not.
It did not, right? Okay. So it's just a hard thing to get. So for it to kind of line up, it was just very serendipitous.
It's hard to get Teppanado for 10 people.
No, for 10 people, it's almost impossible.
That's wild. But I will also add that when I put this on my list, I originally wanted to put it much higher, and I kind of held back because it was like, I'm like, is this a recency bias thing?
Oh, no, man.
So it really validates my opinion of this, that you put it as number one, because I just feel like no matter how many years pass by, I think this is going to keep climbing.
I think that might be one of my favorite meals I've ever had.
I think it's the most delicious meal. I mean, when you're having Wagyu, we went for it on that one.
And you're what, like 11 beers deep at that point?
Yeah, I remember I don't think I've ever been more like had a more blissful, flavor in my mouth.
No, it was so good.
And just it felt endless, which is weird. It felt like I was just like, bite after bite, like it just wasn't ending.
No, I love the sauces. I love their fried rice. It's incredible. The noodles are super good too. And then also, I believe we had some shrimp to go with it. It's just how do you top that? I
don't know, but I didn't have
great show.
I didn't have breakfast this morning. This is fucking killing me.
I know, dude. My stomach is growling right now. And with that, I guess we could conclude this because we're gonna go grab some lunch now.
Oh hell yeah!
And but man, this was a fun trip.
Did we want to bring up Club 33?
Oh yeah. Okay, so there are two restaurants that you're probably wondering. Okay, so the first one, I have an evergreen number one, and it's not fair. It's Din Tai Fung because it just feels like, I know technically it's on downtown Disney property, but that restaurant is just so goddamn good in general. It's almost unfair to compare it to normal theme park restaurants.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's such a prevalent chain at this point.
Yeah.
That's in a bunch of big major cities, globally.
Yes.
So it's kind of like,
it just felt wrong.
It is on theme park property. But it's harder to find a better combination of food items.
I hope we could eat Din Tai Fung tonight.
Oh, Well, fingers crossed. We'll
That would
see.
be, wouldn't that be good? We could put our name on the wait list. So I had that, and then Club 33. We were lucky enough. Mari, my wife, has a friend who used to be a plaid, a VIP tour guide at Disneyland, and she's friends with Mari, and that friend has a friend who is a Club 33 member, and they knew how much of a Disney nut and theme park nut that I was, and by proximity then my wife was. So she was like, hey, we have 4 extra spots if you guys just want to come. I mean, obviously you're going to still have to pay for the dinner and everything, but it's, I don't know when this opportunity is going to come again. And, I certainly am not going to be buying any kind of Club 33 membership. So, and actually it was the second time I'd been able to go to Club 33, because the first time, even in more lucky fashion, my ex-girlfriend used to work at an accounting firm, and every year they would raffle off a dinner for 2 because one of the partners at this accounting firm had a Club 33 membership. So they would raffle off a dinner for 2, and we won the raffle. So I had gone there first with that, but even that, that was just the dinner. This next experience we had, we actually were able to go to the lounge. We didn't get to see Walt's bedroom, or I know there's a little apartment, a secret apartment or something up there. But we did go to
I think they might have been renovating at this time. They might have been doing a little renovating still.
There's also that secret cocktail bar inside of Carthay Circle that they had us go to first. I forget the name of it.
You know
what I'm talking about?
Is it just 1900
something? It's like some year,
like 1901 or something like that, or it's some significant year.
It's a schwanky little bar. It's fun atmosphere, I guess. It's I mean, we definitely didn't belong there, I'll tell you that. But going to Club 33, this lounge is just so beautifully themed. We saw John Stamos there.
We did see John Stamos there.
He was, and the bar actually above it has instruments that ghosts play, and
Yes.
and you could see the instruments moving. And then there's actually even when there's a trumpet solo, for instance, there's a picture, there's a photo, a portrait of jazz musicians, each holding a different instrument. And when they go to play their song at the bar, they disappear from the portrait, which is really fun. Just fun little details like that. And then, I mean, look, the meal honestly was good. It's pricey.
It's very good. It's just, it is very pricey.
It almost doesn't feel like a theme park experience in a weird way. I don't remember being blown away by the food for the price, but just the experience alone of being in Club 33 and seeing New Orleans Square from that vantage point, because we were able to go out on the balconies, that was really cool. But, it just didn't feel like a theme park experience as much as it was just kind of this is a unique, very, very rare thing you could do. And I just didn't feel like it deserved a spot in the top 5, because it doesn't sit in my heart in a top 5, just because it's not something I could replicate again. Or even if any of you guys listening, I mean, who knows if you're lucky enough to have this experience. We got really lucky.
Do you think it feels a little too country club for you?
It did. I don't.
It's more of a personal thing.
Yeah.
It's not ripping. Obviously, the Club 33 is amazing. I just don't know if it worked. I don't think it works as much for sickos like us.
No, I didn't feel. I don't know. Even when we were on the balcony looking down at all the theme park goers walking around, getting in line for Pirates, walking through New Orleans Square at night, I would be lying if there wasn't a large part of my mind and heart thinking, I kind of wish I was down there right now.
I remember when we were first getting seated, we went to that balcony. We're like, this is so cool. We're looking over all the people entering Pirates of the Caribbean, and you'd occasionally have some other person go out on the balcony and be like, it's much better to be up here than down there, huh? And and you kind of roll your eyes, because a couple hours later, I remember we were at the table and and we started joking. I'm like, I kind of want to be down there. I want to be on that ride.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just it was almost too much of a departure from the theme park for me, and also the country club aspect of it. But then there was also the pressure to really enjoy it, because I knew this is probably not going to happen again. And it was just kind of rare happenstance that we even got the chance to go in there. So I just felt very out of my body when I was there, so it wasn't enough for it to be in the top 5 for me.
I felt extremely grateful.
Yes.
For the people that helped make that happen for us.
Yeah.
While simultaneously feeling a bit of imposter syndrome.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie.
Heavy imposter syndrome. I felt imposter syndrome in every one of these epic universe media events too. So
I feel imposter syndrome every time I step in this tiki room.
So it was it's an amazing experience if you ever have the chance to do it and you're able to from both just like opportunity but also just means. Yeah, go for it. It's just, it's a fancy restaurant inside Disneyland, and the decor isn't, incredible in the actual bar, the eating area. The lounge is pretty well decorated, but yeah, we're definitely worthy of a top 10, but I just didn't have it in me to put into my top 5.
Yeah, that's fair.
But with that, I think that does it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was definitely a more of a personal look at the foods and theme park experiences as opposed to the more objective approach we try to take on the main episodes. If you enjoyed that, let us know in the comments.
And yeah, share your favorite stories as well if you got them.
Yeah, and if you've been to some of the regional theme parks and there's places that we definitely got to check out, let us know because we're trying to check off these regional theme parks as much as we can. But for now, that does it for this episode of For Your Amusement. Again, like and subscribe to keep the channel alive. If you're listening, subscribe and rate the podcast 5 stars. You can support us over at fyapod.com. Get up to 3 monthly bonus shows, episodes ad-free. Our merch is there. Thanks for spending your day with us. We'll see you on the next ride.
Let's eat, huh?
Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Actually, before we go, I forgot. I almost forgot. For all of you guys that are already supporting us on fyapod.com, here's the name of 10 e-ticketers that we'd like to thank, and then we'll get out of here. Sasha Bassi, Nico1221, Riley Farron, Neil Olduluch, Chatty Snail, Sammy G, 3 Caballeros, 100 Acre Pins, Sherry Krabby Pelly, probably Pedro. Thank you guys for supporting us over there. And also, we're at FYA Pod across all the socials. I'm at Ryan Bergara. Byron's at Byron Marin. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.